All right, another week here, Terry. But hey, don't look down. Look up here. Meet me up here. If anybody asks you what you're doing, we're not doing a podcast. We are in construction, though. We're in construction. Okay.
We're in drugs.
He's on drugs. My name is Adam. That's Terry. What's going on, guys? Welcome to our exploration of diving into the seedy underbelly of Gotham. We are talking about all things The Penguin, season 1, or the only season, episode 6, called Gold Summit. Hope everybody's enjoying this episode because this is a really cool, like, big, another kind of feels like a setup episode for like the next, especially like cliffhanger ending. But there's a lot going on in this episode, a lot of wheeling and dealing, a lot of there's a time jump here. How many weeks ahead did we just jump? That's kind of a question I want to have us debate here. But yeah, this is a fun episode. There's a lot of things that do happen. It makes me want to grab a beer.
Yeah, this is an interesting episode. It leaves us in an interesting spot for the last two episodes we have here. Again, make sure you're watching along with us. If you've already seen this, you're gonna be laughing at us for us trying to figure out what's gonna happen next. But hopefully it's giving you a good look at what is coming, what you've seen, what you love about the show. Watch again, listen in, all that fun stuff. Yeah. Let's do it. Synopsis time.
Let's do it.
The Penguin, episode 6, is entitled Gold Summit. Oz has his underground lair set up, and business is a-booming. The operation has remained a secret. The shrooms are thriving. Vic is making runs around town, and all appears to be going well for Oz. Except he's still hiding out in Crown Point in an abandoned apartment with no power or heat. He calls in a favor with a city councilman to try and get that fixed. Oz is also trying to do business with all the rival gangs in the area. If he can get enough gangs on his side, he will become powerful enough to rival the partnership between the Maronis and the Gigantes. Speaking of that, Sofia and Sal seem to be bonding, although Dr. Rush appears to be the only one actually bonded. They are searching for Oz, but can't seem to find him. Sofia notices he is increasing in power and influence, so she decides to send a message that it isn't safe to work with the Penguin. After 3 drug dealers from the Sullivan gang end up dead, a lot of Oz's business deals are canceled. So he starts giving the drug away. Meanwhile, the inevitable confrontation between Vic and Squid takes place. Squid wants in. Vic doesn't want him anywhere near what's going on, and he tells Oz that he can handle it. When Squid won't take no for an answer, Vic shoots Squid. Poorly, but effectively. Vic runs off, leaving Squid bleeding to death from the neck. Sofia is looking for any leads on Oz and discovers a picture of Eve in Oz's apartment. When she finds her, Eve is initially cold to Sofia, knowing she's the hangman that kills girls like her and her friends. When Sofia tells Eve the truth, she turns on Oz, revealing he is in Crown Point. To Eve's surprise, Sofia leaves without killing her. As Sofia gets hot on Oz's trail, Oz arranges a meeting between all the lesser gangs in Gotham, including the Triads. He proposes an alliance to rise up against the Maronis and Gigantes. Eventually, everyone comes around to the idea, even though they know they can't trust Oz. During the meeting, Oz's favor is fulfilled and power is restored to Crown Point. Vic and Francis, who is increasingly declining in health, have a celebratory dance praising Oz's efforts while Sofia watches on. Dun, dun, dun. What'd you think?
Yes, I'm on drugs. This was a really kind kind of really cool episodes. A lot of really cool things happening. The time jump, I think, is a couple weeks, but it's very interesting to see how thriving this business venture is, and it thriving as well. Kind of really liked the opening of the show quite a bit today, and rightfully so. I think the charisma that Colin Farrell has shown as Oz here, it kind of shines through in that opening. It's like really upbeat, kind of lifting, kind of doing his open monologue to his crew. I thought that was just good, cool way to start, because it's like a very, kind of a happier in the opening for the last couple weeks, compared to the last couple weeks. So I liked that. The whole Sal and Sofia team up when they actually go to Oz's apartment. I thought that was kind of interesting. She steals that cigar cutter. We find a drawer full of panties.
I have a fetish.
And then I had to add that in. So that was just like of course he had a drawers. They were like digging in and looking for this the weakness of Oz. Like, he doesn't care anybody. That's why that's his asset. That's a great line. We'll talk about that later. But we do get a little bit more backstory on the brothers. I think we don't necessarily. They just died really young. And Sofia also says his mother died too. And from what we know, we don't know much about his father. So they really hit his mother quite well. And so that's why it was such like her facial expression was like, "Oh, your mom's alive. Oh, interesting. What more are you hiding here?" Kind of makes you wonder, like, because Vic was talking about his brothers too, kind of just helping Francis's, mental state out. And Oz took, I think Oz maybe has something to do with his brother's death, possibly.
Oh, you got to think that's true.
You gotta think that. But so maybe we'll expand on that a little bit later. But yeah, this was a really cool episode. I really liked the all the gangs getting together. Thought that was, nothing brings people back together other than hating another group and having a cold one together. So that was pretty cool. And it's a perfect commercial for whatever beer company that was, Gotham Ale or whatever. Thought that was cool. And another great scene is the Sofia and Eve scene back and forth too. So some good stuff here. That ending is going to be, I hope they don't like jump forward. I want to see like the next episode kick off with that crowbar in her hand. Like, that's what I want to see it start from. We'll see. Only time will tell next week. So we'll find out.
Yeah. This episode, I like the places it went. However, I hate time jumps.
Yeah, that is true.
And this one starts with one that is, I feel, is very vague and also inconsistent, which is I don't like unexplained time jumps. Like, you had, like, in the last season of Breaking Bad, you have a time jump of sorts, but you have a montage walking through it, right? As they're cooking from house to house, and you see kind of, this is what's going on, but we're going to fast forward a little bit here in the middle of an episode. Okay. Barry, there was a time jump in the last season that was completely unexpected and unexplained, and to the point that no one knew until the next episode if it actually was a time jump. That one felt jarring, and the rest of the season kind of felt disconnected because of it. This one feels like Barry, where it's just, all right, in between episodes, we're gonna throw a time jump in here, and when the opening montage, it's cool, but it feels like that was like a 3 to 6 month process to get it there, to get the lair there, because now you went from 2 buckets of mushrooms to an entire warehouse size room full of them.
Yeah,
he found a chemist.
Yeah.
He found distribution. He found henchmen. He had nothing. Where did all these people come from? Where did all this infrastructure come from that didn't exist? And like you said, it looks like a couple weeks. How in a couple weeks?
Yeah,
and then,
you're right.
But then Vic runs into Squid, and they act like it was just yesterday that he saw him walking Francis into the building.
Yeah. And then also, like, why isn't Sofia and Val's operation getting any bigger? It seems like it's just 2 people walking around trying to solve this thing. Like, we don't see any of how her operation has grown too. You would think that there would be some kind of growth there too.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It feels so inconsistent. Where parts of it feel like they're 6 months later, and parts of it feel like they're 24 hours later. Parts of it feel like they're a couple weeks later. What's actually going on here? And so for that, I'm like, this episode is weird.
Yeah,
Because it's like let's jump to where we want things to be, even if they don't necessarily make sense. And that's and once you settle into, okay, this is our new reality, yeah, there's some fun stuff that happens.
Yeah.
But the jarring nature of getting there is like, wait, what day is it? We don't know.
It's not earned. It's not an earned like
It's
growth.
not.
It's kind of like, yeah. And I can see that. So a couple of weeks now that as you began to talk, I was like, wait a second, yeah, you're right. There's so much more added layers to like what they actually needed for their infrastructure to make sense and be operational. And they even dug a tunnel out to make a connection to another city or whatever they said.
Well, no, that whole trolley line connects to the entire city. Like they meant, like that
But
was
they
the
said
whole thing.
they said we even opened up this trolley line to get to this other spot too. I think
Yeah,
said
probably
that.
just found something that had been like blocked off or something and opened it back up. I could kind of get that, but like even to the point that Vic is looking fly out there on the streets, to the point that Squid is like, dude, you like are dressing nice and everything.
You're
He's
like
got
a
a
tinkerhead.
motorcycle now.
Yeah.
When could he drive a motorcycle? We didn't know that he could ride.
He could barely
like-
seal rims.
Yeah, and he failed at that. Give us something else. Like you just kind of jumped. That this is the ultimate jump to conclusions, Matt. And now we're here. And like I said, once you settle into what the new reality is of this is where we wanted to end up, and this is you're fine, but you got to suspend a lot of disbelief to get there in the first like 15-20 minutes of this episode.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good call.
I hate time jumps. Don't do them. Don't do it. You disconnect yourself from all the momentum you were just building by jumping. Like we left last week and we were talking about, Oz has to try and build this from the ground up if he can survive.
And then
we start the next episode. He is back. It's like, how?
I got so many questions.
So many questions that you just skipped over. That, like I said, that's why it reminded me of the Barry time jump, because it was the same thing there. It's like you skipped over so much stuff. You left entire storylines hanging to jump until the next part of your story. Don't do that. Tell your story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because we get to see, we still have the same conflicts that were living before, but they had to change the circumstances to make them more interesting, I guess, when I thought they were interesting enough where they were.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the time jump stuff too. That was our big issue with Barry. It seems like every sideshow other than We Were Soldiers has a time jump. Actually, we were Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers. Come on, man.
Not the Mel Gibsons. Actually, Band of Brothers had a time jump too. They had those little like actual soldiers like talking, giving narration at the very beginning of the episode.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, the Penguin though, it's still a really solid episode. It's probably not like there's 6 episodes. It's probably like the 4th best episode. It's still, but every episode's been really solid. It's still a good one, but it's just this is a glaring plot device that they can just get away with. It's like, oh, it's explained. He's a criminal, because maybe you just accept it because he's a Batman villain. So it makes sense that he can get that up and I'm running really quick in between episodes. But sometimes you like to dig into it and kind of see where the villain is coming from, because this is a different type of Penguin, because it's not following his normal origin story too. So I would like to see it.
Yeah, I do like that now we have the Penguin in his lair, underground lair, living the moist life. And that's cool. I like that, but
Living the moist life. with the sharks with laser beams on their head. Freaking
laser beams on their freaking heads.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Best scene there, Terry.
Yeah, best
Transition.
So I'm gonna say the best scene for me is Eve and Sofia.
Yeah,
I thought that was such a great scene, and when I'm writing the synopsis, I try to truncate things as best I can. And that scene had so much in it, so much
little
characterization, nuggets, so many little nuggets, and also turning the whole thing on its head. I had like 3 or 4 sentences in the synopsis dedicated to that one scene, because you get Sofia coming in with the gun in her face, and Eve like understanding that I invited you up here and it means I'm probably dead. Just don't kill any others. And then she has to go into, no, you don't understand. I'm not the hangman. My father was, and Oz is the one that turned me in and betrayed me so that I would take the fall for him so he can move up. And you see Eve's wheels turning like, oh crap, Oz has been letting this happen all these years. And she, to the point that Eve, the one person who like feels like means something more to Oz, is turning on him. Like the way that whole scene plays, you can tell Sofia has this respect for Eve, and Eve gathers this respect for Sofia as it's going along. It's a mano a mano I didn't know we were going to get, but I'm so glad we did.
We did, yeah.
Because it works so well and is just like that. Those opposing forces that you didn't realize were going to be so strong against each other. I loved it. It was one of the best scenes we've had so far in this show.
Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah, I had that one down too. Just really great characterizations of the characters. Totally, 2 actresses and totally realizing what their characters' purpose are, and just playing off each other in that sequence too. And their kind of love for Oz, but also it's like we know who he is at the same time. He's very deceitful. He looks out for himself. So yeah, and I feel like Sofia also played Eve and kind of twisted some stuff too to her perception as well. Like, I'm not the hangman, but it's cool that she didn't kill Eve too, which is also kind of good that we get to see that too. So makes a deception of like how is Oz going to respond to Eve, and how is that still going to be his girl, or is she forgiven at some point? But because now Sophia's like hanging out with his mom.
Well, but Sofia doesn't know, but Oz doesn't necessarily know
yet.
How yet? Well, she's the only one that knew. Like, but anything could have happened, right? Anything could have gotten him back there. Who knows? So that's a whole nother.
Maybe he blames Vic. You let him follow you. So, I don't know.
Yeah, or anybody else. I mean, other people have been leaving the cave. So
true.
Did you have any other scenes you wanted to shout out?
That's too taking back Gotham. That whole meeting between all the different groups and stuff like that was like they also there's like Eve, understand like this guy is not a good guy. He's out for himself only. But they all come to the realization it's like, well, the Maronis and the Gigantes are also going to keep us under their thumb and take our business and our clientele anyway for themselves. So let's stick it to the man first. So they joined forces. So I like that.
That rally speech by Oz was good.
Yeah.
It reminds you why in Batman Returns there was the side plot of Oswald Cobblepot running for mayor.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if he can rally the troops like that, yeah, I could see it.
Very true.
Another one I wanted to shout out was sitting down to breakfast with Vic, Oz, and the mom. and the mom is starting to show, Frances is starting to show some signs of decline. Yeah, of dementia, and Vic tries to help by going along with it. And Oz doesn't like that, and just that dichotomy of how are we going to handle this? And Oz is like refusing to acknowledge the fact that she's getting bad, while Vic is like, no, this is how you want to handle it. You want to try and lean into it and help them feel safe and comfortable. It's just interesting how they approach it two different ways, and there's, they butt heads sometimes, and that's just another time that they butt heads.
Yeah, that's a good scene there too. I like that one. And then let me try to think of something else too. I thought one of the funniest scenes is he's like, practice your swing, and Sal starts beating the crap out of the Oz's house with the golf club. I like that scene. That was funny.
Fun
one. Yeah. Kind of a funny one. So good stuff.
All right. The douchebag award.
Squid. This is the Binnicky of the show until he's gone.
I'm gonna change the name. We've now found our new name. It's the Squid Bag.
The Squid Bag, yeah.
Squid Bag. The Squid Bag award. Yeah, I have Squid too.
He's such a manipulator, man. That guy is everything on Vic there too. He's like, oh, I'm already losing money. I'm just throwing it at him like, oh, wow.
Yeah, and he it's one of those where Vic turns and shoots him, and my reaction is the reaction Henry Rowan Gardner gets when his mom turns and punches her boyfriend. Way to go, Mom! I mean, it's like, Vic, attaboy, you stood up for yourself. You fired back like you needed to.
You did good, kid. Yeah.
You did good. You did good. If a guy gets shot out of the blue like that and you celebrate, you're dealing with a level 4 douchebag there. So
yeah, it's a good call. Squid Bag.
Yeah. Now, did he die?
Yes, he died. I think he died.
I think so too. But you didn't see him take his last breath. In any bit of cinema, show or HBO movie, if you don't see, like, is he gonna, like, you want to know how I got these scars?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm just saying, we didn't see him die. We're gonna count him as dead, but we didn't see it. Just throwing it out there.
I wish you hadn't, but okay.
Stickman.
Sofia.
Dr. Rush.
You're doing it to me. Why are you staring? Why are you? What's the word she says? Why are you analyzing me? He's like, no, I'm fascinated by you, or something like that.
50 Shades of Gigante.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Gigante. Yeah, like, did I hurt you? No, I deserve it.
Yeah, that is a weird relationship there.
Well, yeah, I guess he's not an inside man. He's not the mole.
He's not the mole we were thinking he might be.
Well, he's
also not he's also not the underboss.
Yeah,
that he is under.
He's under the boss, but not.
Yeah, he's under the boss, but not the underboss.
Yeah, he's the inside man.
He is the inside man.
Woman, yeah. We can paint the picture. We can paint pictures of the vocabulary.
We could paint quite the picture
with a little sex.
Or Oz, yeah, little sex in it. Oz is also a stick man in this episode too. He has the drawer of women, like, undergarments, Eve's clothing, like.
Oh,
he could be
that's not stick man. That's just creepy.
Well, she came over quite frequently, so she had a little drawer. Maybe.
Yeah.
Are we saying that's a
movie about a guy who has sex in a monkey mask?
Dr. Rush never wears a monkey mask.
That could be our best callback. That could be Gorilla Grodd. There we go. No, he's a giant gorilla. He's not in a mask though. Anyway.
All right. Best new face.
Douchebag Councilman Sebastian Hattie.
Yeah, this is played by
Reese
Coiro. I think it's Coiro.
Coiro. Yeah, I've seen She-Hulk and Hustlers. He was in those two things there. He was in one episode of She-Hulk. He was a douchebag in that one too, if I remember correct. So yeah, Councilman. I like that's an underrated scene actually. I guess I should have mentioned that one as a scene because that felt like he's like I already paid my debts. He's like, yeah, but not to me. Like you don't understand who you're dealing with. Here's some pliers up your nose. What a painful little torture device, dude. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good. I had two down. He was one of them. The other one is Danny Boy, the leader of the Sullivan Gang, played by Johnny Hopkins. I don't think I'd seen him in anything else, but like he was in an episode of Only Murders in the Building. He was in an episode of Bull, an episode of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Like he's kind of made his round. An episode of Elementary, episode of Blue Bloods. Like he just kind of is one that pops up. Yeah, little one-offs. But I thought he was kind of a cool character. Oh, he's in Kick-Ass. He is billed as first gang kid in Kick-Ass.
I remember that guy. Yeah, I remember that character.
Yeah. But like,
yeah,
I feel like he's like most likely to play a Wahlberg in a movie.
Ooh,
like,
Wahlberg, yeah.
Or I mean, you have the Sullivan. Like, are you trying to combine New York and Boston to make Gotham here? You got the Sullivan Gang. I mean, like, I feel like that's where we're heading here. Best weapon.
Well, I guess pliers. There's I have three pliers. Rhymes with wire. Yeah, pliers. Gotta go with pliers in this one. Yeah, that's yeah. Talk about getting your navel pierced. Yeah, that he grabbed it. Yeah, yanked it. No wait. Yeah, navel. No, never mind.
No, the septum.
The septum. Yeah, that's the word.
Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yes.
That's what I'm going with. Yeah, I had pliers too, but honorable mention to the golf club.
The golf club. I had a belt too.
Yeah, that's not really a weapon though. That's restraints are not a weapon.
Yeah, restraints not a weapon. Yeah.
I want to know why does Oz have golf clubs?
Well, he's practicing for his governor career, mayor career.
He can't. He can't even walk. How's he gonna golf?
You're horrible.
I mean, I bet he walks about as good as Tiger Woods does at this point. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. All right. Best callback. Nerd out. Let the nerd flag fly.
Proud. I don't really have anything in this one.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know. I don't have anything in this one. I couldn't find anything that really stuck out. They do have time jumps in Batman comic books. So
okay.
There we go.
I was checking to see if we had seen Councilman Sebastian Hattie in the Batman. We had not.
Yeah.
The other one I was wondering about is any of these crime families that pop up, are these like true to the comic books at all? Like the Sullivans, or I lost some of them. Like there were so many that just kind of popped up and went by. I was wondering, like, oh, are any of these like comic book like true to the comic books? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
I will say when they go back to Oz's house, he lives underneath what looks like some kind of store, but I got Selena Kyle vibes. I'm like, oh, cat burglar, but it was like I don't think it was like a burglar store. It was like I don't know. I can't remember the store, but that was the first like character. I was like, oh, is it Catwoman? Are they teasing Catwoman? But she didn't even work there. but because I wasn't
Yeah,
thinking.
I noticed that too. He lives on, and I think we've seen it before.
Yeah,
But this might be the first time we fully put together. Oh,
yeah.
there's a store under his apartment.
I don't know why.
As there tends to be.
Yeah. But I was thinking like, oh yeah, Selena Kyle might work there. But I was thinking like Anne Hathaway, but not like Zoe Kravitz.
Oh,
So I was thinking like wrong universe.
Yeah. Because Catwoman, we know where Catwoman works.
Yeah,
but she's not around anymore. Do you think? How well did Selena Kyle and Eve know each other?
Ooh, yeah, because they would have been
Or Roxy, like that whole crew. Like, was Selena in that crew at all? She had to be, right? Because Eve started. How would Eve get to know Oz? Eve would get to know Oz through the club, right?
when Selena worked at the club.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting theory. I like it.
And why didn't she get hangmaned?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't get hangmaned. There's a, I forget what the backstory is there. Isn't there a backstory of how she's connected to the Falcones in some way?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't remember. It's been too long since I've seen the Batman.
Yeah, that's true.
We're getting off here. All right, favorite minor character or henchman?
Favorite minor character or henchman? Probably that electrician guy. That guy who's like, he's like, hey, we're getting actual power here. These generators can't hold it. He's like, yeah, I'm working on it.
That's good.
That's
a good one.
Was pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
The guy wearing a hard hat too. It was kind of.
Oh
funny.
yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm going with Link Sai, Feng Zhao's backup man.
Yeah.
I thought you vouched for this guy. I didn't vouch for him. I vouched for her.
Yeah.
And then when the beers are handed out, he's just kind of sitting there like about to open his. Like, all right,
we're not doing.
Are we
this
opening
yet?
them? Okay. Are we doing this? And you can kind of tell he's just like, I'm in, but boss has to give me the okay here.
Yeah.
Like he had some good facial expression moments.
He's like, I'm down to party. Just not right now.
Best line.
Who does he care about? He doesn't. That's his greatest asset. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. I had a couple here. One was Oz during his speech to rally the troops. At the end of the day, just a poor kid with something to prove.
That's a good one.
I was like that. I thought that was a good one. And then one of the last lines of the whole thing is when Francis looks at Vic and says, "You're my biscuit." It's like, what is that?
Yeah. I was like, oh god, she's gonna try to kiss him. That's what I thought.
She sees her son, like she sees
one
of the other boys
in
there.
Yeah. I like to. I'm in construction. You're in construction. That's how we get the money. I'm in construction. It's good. Anyway.
Problems. We already talked about them.
The time jump. Yeah, we don't need to say much more.
Let's do the time jump again.
Time warp again. Yeah, it's a good one.
Most relatable moment. I'll go first on this one. I have respect for beer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like just the idea that you want to get everybody together, you crack open a cold one, and that is the sign we're gonna drink and be merry together, and that's a sign that we are friends. I was like, that's what we do on the podcast. We drink and
we know
and toast each other and we drink and we know things, as one imp would say.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like music. Yeah, music's a good thing. It's a good remedy. Keep it on. I love that song. Yeah.
I dig music. Bring it all full circle back to the beginning now.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good. That's good.
Good.
That's my song. Leave that on. LVP.
Gotham City Hall, man, putting all that electricity for the poor to go to the rich. It's like Robin Hood. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's a part of the city that was destroyed in the flood. So
yeah,
I could
people are
see.
freezing.
Yeah.
So you know how much red tape I have to crawl through? Do it.
You have till morning.
Yeah.
My LVP is overnight baths. It's not a good plan.
Yeah, falling asleep in the bath. Not yet.
I don't think she fell asleep. She couldn't get out.
She was just freaking shivering the whole time.
I'd like there's I've fallen and I can't get up. This is I've bathed and I can't get up.
Bathed. And you're like, you don't have somebody watching your ill-fated mom like overnight?
I guess not. I mean, the only one you trust is Vic, and if Vic was out doing other stuff,
true.
Vic can't do everything.
Good point.
But yeah, overnight baths. I don't think he realized how bad she was until she couldn't get out of the bath.
Mm-hmm.
Good call. MVP.
Just thought of a relatable moment. Yeah. Respecting a good pair of sneakers. I think that's a good one for Vic. He goes back to the trust old reliables at the very end. Yeah.
Well, he had blood.
Well, yeah, that is true. Okay, so MVP of the episode will have to go to. Yeah, probably got to go. I got to go with Oz here because he got the power back. He got his business. He got partners. He thought he was going to lose all his partners based off some dead bodies, missing pinkies, but he got everything back and working together. They're best friends. It was like the Avengers team up that we always wanted in the Batman universe.
Yeah,
they basically said criminals unite. So
that's a good one. My MVP is Eve.
That's a good one.
I mean, like I said, she turns the plot of this whole thing with one comment, but also just the fact that she was able in one conversation to garner the respect of Sofia, but also to like kind of get the upper hand in some ways too.
Yeah.
Like just in that one conversation, she kind of like Sofia went up there to kill her and she left her like, I don't need to worry about you because you are kind of uncorruptible because you are you. You're not Oz's, you're yours. And she respected that. Like to gain Sofia's respect that quickly and like to feel like Eve was in control of that conversation, which is something you didn't expect when Sofia walked in the room.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, she was my MVP. All right, we're going to talk about what we think is coming up in these last two episodes. But first, the POI, the put on ice count. I upped Sofia's from 11 to 14. I don't think she directly killed the Sullivan drug dealers, but she was definitely responsible for them. So I'll add them to her body count. Second place is Carmine with 8 that we know of. Oz is at 5. Luca and Irvat are at 1. Now tied with them is Vic at 1.
Question mark? No.
Question mark? With 8 debatable ones, and the Riddler remains at yes. All right. We've got 2 episodes. Sofia has found Oz, but more importantly, Sofia has found Oz's ma and Vic.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Oh, it's gonna be hell to pay. He's like, oh, you took my ma? Holy cow! It's gonna be there. Basically, the whole episode's gonna be Oz trying to find where Sofia is, and then the very ending episode's gonna be like them maybe getting like, or maybe he gets his mom back in that episode at some point. But then I don't know. I'm thinking too much about the ending of the next episode. But it's gonna be searching for his mom. I think they're not gonna take Vic. Maybe they do take Vic. Do you think Sofia takes Vic in that situation?
No.
Or knocks him out with a crowbar, but takes the mom.
Does Sofia take the mom? Or does she just put a bullet in her head?
Oh, I don't want the mom to die. That would be sad. That'll be sad.
But I mean, this Sofia found a way. Like Oz took everything from Sofia. Now she needs to take everything from Oz. Just kidnapping her wouldn't do that. but putting a bullet in her head and then leaving Vic to tell, like, this is what you let. It's like leaving behind what's her name in Kill Bill Volume 1 to tell everyone what happened. Vic's there to report. Sofia found us. This is what Sofia did. She'll be back.
Yeah. Gives a calling card. Great. Yeah.
That I mean that could be it. Yeah. And if that happens, where does Oz go crawling to? Does Oz lean on his new alliance? Does he go crawling back to Sofia and saying, I'll put it all behind me. I'm yours. I don't know. Does he try and find a way to get the upper hand back on Sofia?
Yeah. Do you think that the Bliss gets destroyed? Like that Sofia figures out where that's at too, through Vic or through his mom?
I don't think it'll be destroyed because Sofia wants it.
Yeah, that's a good. That yeah. I mean, like, or takes it back, but his like the little empire that that Oz has set up is going to go away.
Like, or maybe she takes the mom and says, you can still have your little thing here, but you work for me. Ooh, yeah, that's a or as long as I have your mom, you will work for me and do what I want. And you are going to betray all those alliances you just made because that's what you do.
Yeah. It's a good one.
And then where does Vic go? Where does his alliances lie? Do they lie exclusively with Oz? Does he try to call him out on the hypocrisy of what he's doing? I mean,
and how does he react to after killing that guy too? That's his first step. He's not a killer. He's a good kid. So,
but he's gaining some more confidence.
Yeah, that is true.
He's slowly breaking bad.
Yeah, you can see by the way he uses his walk, he's a bad guy. No.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like his storyline so far isn't that dissimilar from Walter White, right? A circumstance puts him in a position, and he goes from thinking he needs to get out to indirectly harming by using the car, and now he's taking a shot at someone that he felt like he had to. I mean, this is Walter White 101.
And he has
this is Walter White becoming Heisenberg. What?
Yeah, and he has a disability. He has a stutter. Another guy had cancer. It's basically it's practically right there.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I think we've got some theories, and we've got 2 episodes.
Yeah, we got 2 episodes. It's coming up quick. If you guys have made it this far, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube or wherever you're listening to us on your audio podcast. Share it. We would like to get out there more, and hit us up on X or whatever social media you can find us on, and share your Batman theories. No spoilers though. Penguin
Facebook, Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky now. You can find me there.
Oh, there we go. Links are in the show notes if you're listening. So until next time, we will be leaving the seedy underbelly of Gotham until next week. So we will see you in the next one.